This is my first introductory video for the new channel. I'm sure you can see by the date that I literally just started this channel, but this channel is going to be all about living as a nomad, car living, fashion, beauty, lifestyle, a little bit of satire, a little bit of stuff in between. So if you think that that's something that you'd be interested in, I invite you to like, share, comment, and subscribe to the new channel. I haven't really mapped out a specific post schedule for videos, but I want to at least put something out every week. But as soon as I have that mapped out, I will let you all know. But basically today is just kind of an introductory video, just explaining a little bit about what the channel is going to be about, which I kind of just did, and kind of a impromptu story time video. I know it's a little bit unorthodox to do both the introductory video and the story time video, but things just kind of worked out the way that they worked out. So I told an employer that I am homeless. It was not a planned event. It was not something that I pre-scheduled or said today in this time, you know, I'm going to say what I gotta say. No, it was actually something that I had been planning to keep to myself. Homelessness is a huge issue. It's a huge social issue, and it's experienced and defined differently depending on who you speak to, who's had what experience with it versus who hasn't, preconceived notions, preconceived judgments, etc., etc. To some extent, the term itself does have a negative connotation, and obviously when you say that to people, they'll come up with all types of ideas of how they think you may be living or what that may imply for you. If you live in a car, you're still legally considered to be homeless. Homeless is anyone that doesn't have a set residence, apartment, condo, townhome, house, you know, studio apartment. You don't have any of those types of like more traditional residences where this is your address, this is where you live, this is where you get your mail, etc. You are considered to be homeless under the legal definition. So they don't take into account van lifers or car dwellers as people that are houseless in, you know, in the world of car living and van lifing. We like to say we're houseless, but we're not homeless, because your van is your home or your car is your home. So that's what I mean when I say having to somewhat reveal that I am homeless under the legal definition. I was at work and it was really late and I fell asleep. I mean, falling asleep on the job is always going to be frowned upon in any industry, especially if it's, you know, you're working security or, you know, something that requires you to be, you know, up 24/7. But in any field, it's going to be frowned upon. But it wasn't like I was in a back computer room or a back office. No, I was like front and center where people could walk by and see me like dozing off. I was so tired, I didn't realize that I had fallen asleep. Sometimes you're so sleepy and so tired that you don't actually know that you've fallen asleep. So it was that kind of situation. You know, I did eventually wake up. I didn't sleep through my entire shift, thank God, and I continued with the rest of my work or whatever. Maybe a few days after that, one of the managers came over and said, hey, can I speak to you, you know, after you're done here? I was helping the customer. After you're done, can I speak to you? Sure, no problem. In my mind, I'm like, okay, what is this going to be about? I had no idea that it was going to be about me falling asleep. I didn't even think about that. That hadn't even crossed my mind. They pulled me into the back office and they say, oh, it was reported that you were, you know, sleeping on the job, and this is a huge deal because the last person that did that got terminated. So this is a terminable offense or whatever. And I just, you know, I just stood quietly and nodded my head and just, okay, you know, like just taking it all in. And then he goes with a really stern face, like, oh, what do you have to say about that? I'm like, I'm homeless. I was aware of what I was saying, but I was just like, that's the situation. So I don't get as much sleep as somebody normally would, because when I leave work, I have more work that I do. So I don't like have a traditional sleep schedule. And he just like, there was no reaction. There was no, oh my God, I'm sorry to hear that. What's going on? Are you okay? Like, it was none of that. It was just like the same stern face. So I just said, yeah, so, you know, it's not something that I was planning to share. It's personal. It has nothing to do with the work that I do here. I just want to do my job and go home. And I'm on my way of working my way out of that situation into something else. So, you know, everybody's going through something. It's not a woe is me situation. You know, it just is what it is. But it's more of an explanation. It's not an excuse, is what I said. So he was like, okay, well, same face. Well, you know, no reaction. It's like, oh, well, you know, I'll be sure to let them know that as well. Because basically he was letting me know that he would have to let higher ups know that that's what happened. And my response was this whole thing about that. So long story short, I'm waiting to hear back on what that's going to be. But beyond that, I have my own strategic plan and goals and things that I have in mind, like set in place already. So for me is not to stay with a company. I've already done that without going into a whole nother story time, but I've kind of already done the corporate world thing. I know what it's like. I know what it's about. I know what to expect. Even if it's a different industry altogether, I already know, like, in my mind what I'm planning to do. So this channel is going to be about lifestyle related to that, not the job, if that makes sense. But I just wanted to throw that out there. We'll see what happens. If anything interesting happens, I may come back on and do a part 2, but this is basically introduction to the channel and a short story time. Yes, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe. I will keep you guys notified of any changes, any updates when I figure out how often I'm gonna post. But yeah, so welcome to my world. It's all about nomadic living, car living, lifestyle, yada, yada, yada. So hope that you enjoy the content. Hope that you enjoyed this short story time introduction. Again, feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe, and I'll be back with more content. Have a good one.